And hello, 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 hello. I'm so fucking stupid and silly. It's just really, that damn thing is just silly to me. Hello there, everyone. It's been a minute since I have come to you and carried on. I've been going through a few challenges and things of that nature. However, I wanted to come to you very quickly because, darlings, I don't know if you guys have caught the last episode of Pose. However, at this particular point, I hope that you have, because I want to break it down just a little bit further. Particularly the love scenes and things. Oh, Lord, of course. Y'all know I'm at the Donut Factory. Welcome to another installment. Just a second. This is security. Okay. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, child. All right. What's going on, people? I see y'all starting to come up in here. For those of you who are up with me at this particular time. Wait a minute. Let me come looking at shit. Oh, Lord, child. We got folks being real stupid, crazy, and carrying on out here in the front drive. Okay, I'm gonna let them be, honey, because they're not doing anything ridiculous. It look like they're trying to get their little Facebook on too. At the same time, did you guys get into Pose this week? Okay. What we have, darling, is that we have something unprecedented that had just taken place. Because we have a first that has happened on national television, and it has given us greater permission to be ourselves and to be seen in a way that I think was beautiful and loving and touching, and yet dealt with our vulnerabilities, and dealt with our scaredness and our fears of dealing with the world that we have come to know and how we've come to know it. So, on this edition of the Donut Factory Chronicles and Commentaries, and I'm going to try to break that down just a little bit and carrying on. So, in the meantime and in between time, let me get you guys to go to my website, www.dishingtea.com, for all information about me. And we'll go from there, okay? I'm going to put that down here. I'm sorry, I hit something wrong. www.dishingtea.com. That's what I'm doing. Dishingtea. Okay, .com. Alright? No, not on that. There we go, .com. Tracy, you say what? I have to say I love everything about Pose. It's almost nostalgic. No, not almost nostalgic for me, honey. It is, because, baby, at 49, that was my life. You know, my early life. That was, when you're talking about the late 80s and 90s and stuff, that was in my late teens and 20s. So right now, that's what's going on, honey. It's taking me through those changes where I remember all those days. I remember when we were dealing with the HIV scare the way that it was. We were at the onsets of it, honey, before it became what it is now. Before it was now, but we're sitting here talking about taking Truvada for PrEP, for a prevention, okay, and carrying on. We didn't have all that, of course, back when it first started. It was an automatic death sentence at that time. So a lot of us, you know, when I sit up here and I look at it and carrying on, it is just absolutely that way. That's why the whole thing with Pray Tell and Ricky this week was absolutely everything. And I have to give kudos and a shout out to the cast and the crew for bringing to life that sex scene this week, because it was necessary. And y'all know there were times where if you watch movies and television and stuff, a lot of times we get a lot of gratuitous sex scenes. We just get it in there because folks just think that it's supposed to be there, you know, that you just fucking to be fucking. Hold on. This is security. Security. What pole? I can't get it here. Harry just went to lunch, but okay. Alright. I'll be goddamn, honey. If they're gonna make me interrupt this damn live, Tracy, you said I'm 50, so okay, so we right there, baby. You understand everything I'm talking about. Okay. Wait a minute, child. I'm trying not to interrupt this, but see, we got ignorant ass kids out here. I think they trying to make a goddamn video or something. Hold on for a second. Base to 510.
Go ahead.
Can I get you to make a sweep of the terrorists? We got some idiots out here looking as if they're shooting a video, standing on the poles and being very improper.
What's the location?
The terrorists.
Copy.
Didn't I say the terrorists the first damn time? I don't understand that word sometimes, I swear. Okay. I'm back. But anyway, yeah, so Tracy, you understand what I'm talking about and what we went through. And that's why this scene between Ricky and Prey was so important. Because, darlings, we have a number of different elements going on here that a lot of folks didn't, you may not have caught or really understood. However, I had this conversation earlier today. As we're aging, oftentimes we are thinking about our own mortality. Once we cross 40 and 50, your own mortality comes into play, okay? And then you look at your life. Did I accomplish what I want to accomplish? And, have I made my mark and this, that, and the other? When you're looking at dating, the prospects are not there anymore. You're not the fresh piece of meat that you once were when everybody wanted to get at you and things. You don't do or can't do what you used to do back in the day, Hell, body changes. Image has changed, We have a lot of different setbacks and carrying on that prevent us from being who we thought we were, or we even end up competing with our younger selves. I tell myself this all the time. Oftentimes I have to make sure that at 49, I'm not competing with my 25-year-old self. Because what I do now, either I've outgrown or I can't do it the way that I did it back then. You know what I'm saying? Pray tell, being that he's just turned positive himself, well, not newly positive, but he's positive and have been for about a year now with Blanca. Blanca been positive for 2 years. Understanding that he lost a lover and carrying on and thinking that he can't get back out there because of the package. And for those of you who don't have that point of reference, I was a support group facilitator back in the day. And that was the great big thing. Now that I have this thing, I'm damaged goods. I can't find anyone who's going to love me, who's going to want me, who's going to want to be around me, want to show me love, both physical, emotionally, spiritually speaking and carrying on. And so that becomes a fear. So oftentimes, as you see with Pray Tell, he's drugging, he's liquoring up and carrying on. And I know numerous and numerous of people that way. I used to get upset at the support group because we were coming to the support group, and as I was a facilitator, I was there to make sure that we learned tools and things. And I'm not positive, which gave the participants an even greater reason to not take what I had to say seriously. Because they were like, well, bitch, you don't deal with what I'm dealing with. So you don't know what it's like to sit down here and have to, every time you meet somebody, you got to disclose your status. I got to tell you that I'm positive in order for me to get this. And then I had to run the risk of you stepping back, or you cussing me out, or basically you wanting to fight. Or if I don't tell, then I have to run the risk of perhaps I may end up going to jail, or whatever the case may be. And that there was a hindrance to a lot of people who were positive, and especially back in the day. So now we're at this particular place where, God damn it. Go ahead.
Yeah, 1027 from the terrace. They're over at the Fox.
Copy. So when we were facing all that, here let's take what Pray Tell, 45 years old, HIV positive black gay man. Okay, now you have become in the status of elder, and that's another thing when you cross over into friend elder kind of relationships, it ends up becoming a whole different thing, because now you're not looked upon as a sexual being, huh? You're looked upon as the guru, as the mother, as the sage, as the one who is of wisdom, So you have that to contend with. Then you have Ricky, young boy, going through pretty, could have any and everybody that he wanted to, reckless in some degree, because he knew he was handsome, and that was getting him over. That was his hustle. I'm a pretty boy, and hell, if I could sling some dick real cutely, honey, that's going to get me what I need. Okay? At the same time, as he was coming into this family and started to understand what love is and what love can look like and what love can be, now he has now become, tarnished, or been given a scarlet letter, or have been in this particular space where now what do I do now? Because now I have to start telling folks I'm positive and this, that, and the other. As you saw in the episode, when he went to tell Damon, it became a whole big to-do. And Damon was trying to reconcile their relationship or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm going to take you back because I'm tired of punishing you. And then boom, here we go. No, we got to talk because now I'm positive and this, that, and the other. Okay? So here you have Pray. Basically, they're the same coin. Just, opposite, they're the flip side of the coin. And when we had them to come together, first it was the whole idea of, listen, let me show you how to take care of yourself. This is what you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. You got to take your multivitamins. You got to take your calcium. You got to take, your meds and carry on. This is in the morning. This is in the afternoon. This is what we need to do to make sure that you sustain yourself. Okay, so now that we're getting an education of what this is, now it's like, okay, wow, okay, now I have someone who understands me. I have someone who I could be real with, who I could be free with, who I don't have any judgments about, because they understand me and they know me. Okay, now that's coming from Ricky. Pray is like, okay, wow, this young little boy, honey, he's hitting on me, and he's hitting hard. And he's coming from a place of sincerity. And he's coming from a place of, damn, he really wants to spend time with me. He sees me as someone he wants to be sexual with. This ain't a game. This is something that he wants to do. And he wants me. Okay? That was everything. And then when they went into the art of lovemaking, Yeah, I said it. Because what I appreciate, as I said before, it wasn't ostentatious. It wasn't gratuitous. It was two people who, in most eyes of society, may be considered broken, may have been considered to be less than, plagued or whatever. In their brokenness, they found a way to be whole, and they needed one another. And in that moment, it was a beautiful thing. That was fucking beautiful. Beautiful. And the way how we have all been taught that the art of lovemaking is supposed to be, that there is something all of us wish for. That we have someone who was in the moment, who was there, who is kind and soft and sensual and romantic and caring and loving and passionate, okay, and empathetic and engaging, okay. But baby, how many of y'all watched that and you sat up there and howled? Because I know I hollered when Ricky sat down there and whispered in Paypay's ear, I want you to have me too. Bitch, and they pancaked and they flipped. Baby! Baby! I was what? Gone. I was so far over the moon, bitch, I think I hit a new gamma quadrant. Because I said, look-a here. And see, what I loved about that, too, is that for us who are LGBTQ, and I'm going to say gay black men, what we had was, we didn't have to worry about top or bottom issues in this particular case. You know what I'm saying? What we had were two people who were looking to be loved, who were looking to engage in one another, who were looking to understand and enjoy one another. Bitch, let me tell you something right now. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get sitting up in my chair right. That there was everything. Okay? I want to be so much into you, baby, because I want to experience you, but I need for you to experience me. Woo! I want you to have me too. Ooh! Damn! That was so epic for me, baby. I swear to you, honey, the juices flowed. Okay. All of my inner juices, honey. I was sitting up here, I was stewing and brewing at the same goddamn time, child. It was absolutely beautiful. And see, for straight people to watch this, it gave us an idea of what two men do in the bed, honey. And it gave it from a real perspective, because what we ended up doing was seeing things from a perspective that was very interesting, because oftentimes, you know, our straight community or our heteroattractional counterparts, when they think of gay sex and carrying on, all they think of is somebody getting fucked in the ass. Well, honey, if everybody getting fucked in the ass, then who doing the fucking? I said that to somebody once, and he had a meltdown because he couldn't comprehend that. Okay, I was like, sweetie, if you come out of my bedroom and stop thinking about it or acting as if you know what's going on, trust me, you'll get a better understanding if you just ask me the questions you want to ask. But with this particular episode, it gave us all that we needed to know. You know, it gave us two men, honey. You understood what it was. Hell, we enjoyed one another. We wanted to sit down there and be engaged in one another. We came together on many different levels. Okay, how about that? And that's the one thing that I love about gay, about my type of sex, is because I could experience this in a number of ways, to where it's not necessarily one-sided. And our heteroattractional children, honey, y'all may not understand that, but if you are a woman and you are a man, honey, basically your roles are pretty much set unless you start to experiment. You know, in gay relationships, honey, we can make ours up. You know, as we go along, as we experiment in things, and just like Ricky had experienced prey, then he said, "I want you to have me too," because that was a whole different mindset. That was a whole different experience. That was a whole different place of Xanadu, honey. Because in fact, that was Xanadu and Nirvana, honey, crossing paths, baby. They right there at that intersection of where that meets. You understand? So that was everything for me. And I really hope and pray that most folks will understand that. Let me acknowledge all of y'all who come up in here, because y'all have come up in here. Mike and Tracy, we've spoken already. Howard is up in here. Howard said Lynette Perry. Okay, who's Lynette Perry, Howard? Oh, were you asking her to? Oh, were you tagging her to come in? Dawn Camp, hey baby, what's up, boo? Tommy's up in here. Michelle, hey little sis, what's going on with you? Tracy said it was everything, because it was everything. Daryl had come up in here. Tommy, you say what? Let me open up your whole comment first, because it says see more, and I want to open it up before I get started. Tommy says, I love that storyline. A young MSN can genuinely love being with as an older man. I was 17 when I met 33-year-old David, 50-year-old, 4 years married, successfully ex-sinful, happy, open relationship until he passed in 83, at 83, August 19th, 2018. Ageism is prison. You know what? Wow. That's very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting, darling. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. So you were 17 and he was 33. Wow. And for 50 years y'all have been playing? 50 years, baby? Damn. I'm scared of you, honey. I'm scared of that. What else can you... There's nothing that can be said about that. You know? Nothing. Because now some folks may get a little bit that way and be like, okay, you were 17 and that may be statutory rape and want to go down that particular road. But this is what I say about that, because I really believe that oftentimes we don't give young people the credit that they deserve and really give them what they need. Because oftentimes, you know, I was one of those precocious children, honey, at young ages and things, and doing stuff and being with older people and carrying on and things. So I'm like, okay, yes, honey. So with that, you know, another thing about that came across, you know, because a lot of folks are like the daddy the daddy complex, you know, that pray tell may have been lost in the whole idea of the older man syndrome, and you know, looking for someone to be the daddy. But here's what I told a friend earlier. I said at that time that's exactly what he needed, because he was looking for a daddy. He needed a man's perspective as a gay man to usher him into this world that he knew nothing about, to usher him into being okay as an HIV positive man, and that I'm all right, and that, okay, yes, this is going to be a journey, but it doesn't have to be the scariness that I think that it is. It could still be a beautiful thing for me. Okay.
Security, receipt correct.
Copy that. You know, it doesn't have to be the scariness of it, and they needed that. Because Prey had all but given up. You know, he was like, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna find nobody, and, you know, I already lost the lover to this shit, so hell, you know, blah, 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 blah. And that there was everything. But I want to take that, come out of the TV, and let's go into practicality here, because this is why I wanted to do this particular feed, Because oftentimes, see, we have a lot of people, and I was telling this to my colleagues and the person I was talking to earlier. You know, when we look at ourselves, I have a problem when I see folks who deliberately go after young people. And the reason why I have a problem with it is because what ends up happening is oftentimes you want to claim that that's your preference. Oh, I like them young and I love them young. No. You fantasize about young. And you can sit up there argue me down about, oh no, that's just my preference. You can't tell me what I like. I like what I like. And I'm going to say, bitch, here's where it is. You fantasize about young because just like this child want to tell me, it keeps me relevant. I said, relevant how? What the fuck do you have in common with this young person outside of he got the energy that you wish that you had? His dick stay harder like yours used to. Okay? What do you have in common to sit down here and talk about that's going to keep you relevant outside of you understanding the new dances and the new songs that's out there? Okay, so you could sing the new Beyonce, you could sing the new Rihanna. That keeps you relevant how? Okay? Because when it all comes down to it, when you look back in that mirror, bitch, you still got to deal with your age, your aches and pains, the kind of medicines that you're taking. So what is it? And then here's the other thing. You know that this young little thing, honey, is temporary because once they get their head of it on, once they get their fun out of it, they're going to move on. Why? Because this is life for them. We know what it is to be 20, 25 years old and shit. They're going to move on because life is progression. So you think of it thinking that you're relevant. Relevant how, bitch? How? Then you sit down here thinking that because you got the coin and this, that, and the other, that you could do all this and you can make this happen and you can sit up here and go through all that and, oh, honey, the only time that it becomes relevant, bitch, is when we at the club and you around everybody your own age and you can sit down there and pull trade like that and you can sit down there and rub it in the bitch's face and say, ah, bitch, I still got it. Ah, bitch, I can still get the young trade. That's when it becomes relevant, bitch, because you can rub that in another bitch's face. But other than that, it has nothing to do with nothing. Now, this is the part that I think we get it misconstrued. Because we all are looking for someone that we can spend the rest of our lives with. We don't want to be alone. But if you got that age difference already and you're seeking after that, you went deliberately after that, that young person is not going to know what it is to care for you if their mind is not there. Now, there's always exceptions to the rules because you will find those that have really, really, really found love. More power to you. But for the most part, y'all know that ain't so. It's a lot of admiration. It's a lot of infatuation. And it's a lot of deep like. But as far as loving you when the times get rough and tough and carrying on, when push came to shove, and shove say, get the fuck out the goddamn way. When it comes that, most of these folks don't know how to handle it. Okay? And so now, it becomes you're by yourself anyway. And you have to deal with your own shit. You have to deal with your own mortality. And that's the real that we got to understand. Because my friend said today, he said, how is it or why is it that all of us who are over 50 or whatever don't want to be around other 50-year-olds? I said, because we don't want to sit down here trying to... Now, you know what it is when you sit down with a bitch and you tell a story and this bitch got to one-up your story. Girl, I was sitting down here, child, and I had a pancake today from IHOP. Child, them pancakes was fabulous. Girl, I know what you mean, honey. I had the pancakes and a Belgian waffle, bitch. Oh, the Belgian waffle with the strawberries and stuff on it. Then I had some extra sausages, girl. Oh, honey, that shit was the motherfucking tea. She always got to one-up you. Now, imagine all these damn 50-year-olds and carrying on. All of y'all on blood pressure medicine and shit. And now you sit up here trying to compete for your pills. Child, I got up. I was creaking this morning. Child, I thought I was a springboard. Girl, I know what you mean, child. I done got up and had to creak and Ooh, then my ears started ringing and my hands got all tingly and shit. Child, I know, honey, I know. You know, they always got to one-up you. And you don't want to sit around it all the damn time because, shit, nobody wants to breathe life into nothing. And the sad thing is that here's a revelation for you. All of the times that we saying that we want to be our best at this, that, and the other, we're so busy focused on our mortality and what is to come to where we forget how to live. We forget how to fucking live. We forget how to go after the shit that we said that we want. Because you're so busy worried about, well, hell, how much time I got left. What difference does it make, sugar? You never knew it the first time. Why are you worried about it now? Go do the shit that you said that you wanted to do. Find out what your hobbies are. Find out, even if it means you have to reinvent yourself. That's what we love about our divas, our Patty and Aretha and Gladys and Stephanie Mills and Phyllis Hyman and all those girls that's here, some are gone. Before they left, child, they were still doing their thing. They went to go reinvent themselves. You know what I'm saying? So how come we're not taking care of that? Well, I got this little oh, I know, this is dry. This is dry skin on my lip. It's bothering me. It don't look right. It look like a little spitball on my lip. Okay. So why don't we pay attention to all of that? So see, all of this is what is coming out of this episode of Pose. Because see, when we get deep into the discussion, then we have to learn how to re-love ourselves on a new level, on a new plateau. How do we get to that particular, how do we get there and still accept ourselves for who we are, okay, and what we are at this particular stage of the game, okay, without punishing ourselves for maybe not doing the stuff that we should have did back in the day, or maybe you upset because this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back to the comments here. What you say, Howard? You said what? Facts. Okay. Michael Todd that came up in here. Okay, I love you. Howard, you say what? She was my niece. She loves the show. We gagged when we watched it. She saw it coming. Okay. Everyone was shocked because prayers like a father. I said that stuff happened. That stuff happened in houses. Now let me tell you something. It does, but it ain't supposed to. That's the company jumped on him the way that they did because they, as a mother of a house. This is when I bring in those who are my children, even my nieces and nephews. If we become family, outside of those who I say are my husbands, and see, there's a difference because you got my children, nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters. Then you got my husband. Then you got those are my boys. Okay. Now to say my boys, that's a whole different element because usually daddy's boys or mama's boys or whatever are usually your sex toys. That's a whole different thing from my kids. Okay? And that there is something that becomes that way. This is why the whole idea that Prey and Ricky finding each other or having sex with each other became a big issue because just like they said, bitch, they look up to you. You a motherfucking mentor to these kids. So now what? And Prey is like, well, wait a minute, bitch. He came after me. He came after me. And that's very significant there because you have to understand what that is. Why I said didn't turn it away or whatever. Bitch, do you know how long it's been since someone sought after me? Someone actually saw me as prey. And not, how about that? Ooh, that's a cute little... how about that? That's a cute little double entendre there. Okay. They saw prey as the prey. Okay. And carrying on. And when was the last time he got that? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to put on some lip gloss on this damn stubble ass little, damn thing wearing the shit out of me. But how is that? Okay. So that's why it became complicated, you know? And we do that in houses and carrying on. But oftentimes it doesn't last and it doesn't go anywhere because then you lose the respect. See, anytime that the kids get up in here, you lose the respect, especially if you're trying to have a relationship. Because see, then they want to say that they're your equals. And let's be real, when you're talking about grown folks, most of my kids are older than me. Okay? But the reason why I'm the mother or whatever is because I've been out the longest. I have been around the block a few times and carrying on. So I was the one to mold and shape them when they came out. At the same time, you know, when it came down to them doing fuck-ups or whatever, and I had to chastise them, I had to understand boundaries because, see, now we're dealing with adults who gonna do what the fuck they want to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those kind of things. It's a little different than when you bear children, and it's like, okay, it's either my way or the highway kind of thing, you know. But yeah, it happens. But when it does happen, it creates havoc, as we saw. Okay? How would you say facts? Okay? You say, I try and tell these queens who into young dudes it's not going to last. That's why they still never experience real love. Very interesting. Very interesting. But let's go here, because let's not say real love. Let's just say long-term love, because oftentimes this damn little piece right here is fucking with me. I don't like how it's looking on this camera. I got it. Oftentimes, what they don't experience is something that is permanent, or something that can be everlasting. What they know is temporary. And see, what it is love in the moment, but more so lust. Okay? Lust is infatuation, you know, and then it's not. Let me put it this way: it's not agape love. What you end up having, you either have eros love, which is sex, you know, that sexual energy type love, or you end up having xenia love, which I like to call it as common courtesy. You know, you an adult, or you a person, I'm a person, and you know, I just love you just because, and basically it's conditional. I love you because, you know, you bought me this house, or I love you because you done got the car from me, or you done paid the bill, and that kind of stuff. It's usually that kind of thing. And if you keep doing that, then, oh, I'm going to love you forever, you know. But nobody, you know, those little temporary loves and carrying on, they don't actually experience the agape love, which is that whole unconditional, I'm a ride or die with you kind of thing, because it becomes transient. That's why we have trade. This is why we have what is known as trade. And for those of you who are heteroattractional, y'all may not understand this, but trade is what we call community property, honey. That's the boy or the girl that everybody gets a turn with somewhere. Okay? You know, been with this one, then I got done with him or whatever, you know, traded off or whatever, his sex is good, and we take notes. Okay? We take notes of bitch, okay. Or it's just the neighborhood, I just want to play thing right now. So go get a piece of trade and call it grace. Okay? And so oftentimes, when you know it's a piece of trade and you know it's only temporary, the catch is what we call catching feelings now. A lot of kids sit up there and they get caught up in their feelings on something that you knew was temporary to begin with. Honey, this was just a moment. Okay, this was just a moment. This wasn't something for you to sit there and base your life on and sit and go pick your dish patterns and your damn matching your carpets, the carpet samples and the drapes and carrying on. This wasn't one of those kind of things. You know, however, because you fantasize about it all the time, this is what you done made up in your head, you fantasize about it. And I think that's what it's supposed to be, you see. And that's how we get caught up in a lot of this old bullshit. We do. And so that's why I'm trying to tell y'all children, no, I would question anybody. Everybody who claims that, oh, young kids are, you know, I like them young and that's just my preference, I question them all the time. I question it all the time. Because I'm like, what is it that you prefer? Okay, what do you prefer? You prefer not to sit down there dealing with somebody your own age. Why? Because you scared of looking at yourself? You scared of seeing yourself in the mirror? You scared of what? You scared that his dick ain't gonna work like yours don't? Huh? Is that what you're scared of? Are you scared of the fact that he may be settled in his ways and he may be in control? Okay? Is that what you're scared of? Okay? Or what do you, or you don't prefer that? Okay, huh? Is it because you got a little bit of coin and you feel as though because you got this coin that you could buy up every little piece of trade that you have, or whatever, you could supply a nice life for these kids? Oh, I know I could give them what they want. I can get them to where they need to be, and this, that, and the other. Really? So now you're buying them. So are you calling them your whore, or what? See, this is why I have, because see what happens is a lot of these young kids, you end up fucking up their head because they start to believe that this shit that you doing is the way it's supposed to be, and then as they learn it, then you end. I especially have a discord and a strong defiant dislike for those who sit down there and get these young babies, you fuck up their heads, and then you purposely throw them back out there to the wolves. Okay? Well, they gotta learn it somehow. No, you don't play with these kids like that. You don't play with these kids like that. That's fucked up. That is so fucked up, and it's mean, and it's cruel. And there's a lot of kids out there like that. There's come a lot of you who are out there who are positive and don't tell folks your status. And you go fucking everything that move because you feel you can. Or you feel as though you're supposed to, because since didn't nobody tell you, you ain't got to tell nobody. And then that's cruel and that's evil. Okay? That's evil. And that ain't right. And so we have a lot of that going on. And for those who absolutely find it genuine and carrying on, what ends up happening, you end up getting this ridicule and the scorn of it because of what society is. You know what I'm saying? And those who are exceptions to the rule have to live up under the umbrella of what the rule of scorn is. And then you end up finding yourself trying to prove it, trying to, make sure don't nobody talk about your relationship and carrying on. You know what I'm saying? And it's very that way. Let me see. I'm gonna go back to a couple of comments. William done came up in here. How would you say it was touching? I cried, especially when they played "Love Takes Time." Oh, okay, okay. Wasn't that the tea? Wasn't that the motherfucking tea, honey? Because to know that the children, honey, Blanca was her first set of kids grew up. That's what it was. They grew up, okay? Hey, Angel ready to start her own life, okay? Damon done got the gig. And he done graduated school, he got the gig, okay? Now he's about to make his mark. So now what? Okay, I'm alone. Okay, what do I do? Same thing, the opposite coin of what Pray was saying. We done fell out or whatever, and now who am I gonna run to? And this, that, and the other. You see? We have a number of that. It was the same shit. But love takes time because now we got to heal. Because see, we already see Angel on her way to destruction. And I'm hoping that Angel's story does not become what's Miss Thing's name from Paris is Burning? Venus Extravaganza. I'm hoping that her storyline doesn't become an amalgamation of Venus and Tracy Africa and the model Gia. Okay, that they don't write that in because we see where Miss Thing is going. But when she came to Blanca and said, "Listen, no, I want to do the drugs on my own," I did that. That was me. Okay? And so, no, you're a good mother, honey. You got to stand up to the rules. And see, the hurt was because Miss Thing was trans like the mother. She's trying to hold on to that because it's like, baby, we're trying to build a world out here. I'm trying to keep you safe and this, that, and the other. And with you in the house, girl, we could do this. You know? But she's like, honey, I got to go about my business. Okay? Let me go on about my business and let me do this my way. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that was real. That was so real. Because I know what that is when your kids are ready to go. You know, you have to wish them on their way and make sure you got to put them up under God's hands. I've given you the tools, honey. Now go out there and, honey, now go make your garden. You know what I'm saying? So this is why that's so important. That is, and when you try to hold on to them, you can't. You can't, because they're ready to go and soar. They're ready to spread their wings. So let them go. Okay? Let them, you know they're coming back. Now, they may not come back to stay, but they'll be back for advice, home cooking or whatever. But to sit down there and to show you that they're okay. And even if they're in the bad way, if they need to come back for a little spanking, you know, put your foot in my ass so that I can get back on track, they're coming. They always do. They always do. Tommy, you say, well, 17 is legal in Texas. He did not molest or turn me out. I was an active participant. David and I shared so much. I learned so much. I stayed when he got old. There were no guarantees when the same age. My regular range from 27 to 57. Paypay and the young man did not need to dissect the situation. At the moment, only the two of them matter, not politics. They love the moment. Fine if it lasted. If they did not, they both got value. It's a moment. Is a moment better than a never moment? Now, you know what, Tommy? Ain't that the tea right there? Because that's what made that so beautiful. Because it was that moment. It was that moment. That's why I said they needed each other. That moment, that's how come that scene was so needed to be shown. We couldn't gloss over it. We couldn't talk about it or whatever, you know, in the effective afterglow or whatever. That's why that was needed to be seen. And it was beautiful. That was such a beautiful moment. It was, okay, wait a minute, that's going to make me emotional. Because that was so beautiful. Because in that moment, we see what everybody wants. Everybody looks for that. Everybody wants that kind of connection. Sweethearts. Oh. Sickening. Tony done came up in here. Ricky is up in here. JoJo is up in here. Hey, darling. Okay. Hey, darling, handsome. How are you? How you doing? Okay, we all moving and grooving, baby. Moving, grooving, and always improving. How about that? Howard says, speak. Okay. Tracy, it's painful when you see the kids headed in the bad way. It's always painful, darling. It is always painful. Think of yourself. When you was a child, and you were sitting up there trying to climb that tree, and your mama couldn't stop you, or your daddy couldn't stop you. Okay? Or when you were trying to ride the bike, and they knew you had to fall in order to get back up on it. They didn't want to see you fall. But they had to, some things you had to go through in order to learn it. You know what I'm saying? And it's always difficult, but it's even worse when you see them wanting to make that difficult choice. Wanting to go down that road. And it's like, okay, what you doing? You know, what you doing? What you doing? Why are you doing this? You know, and you have no clue. You know, it's sad, but it's not your life. And that's the hard part that you have to deal with. It ain't your life, baby. It's theirs. And we have to give them the space to live it. And it's hard. God is hard. God help me. It is so hard. It is so fucking hard. Because you only want the best for them, you know? You want them to see them in their best light. Okay? And all of that. Oh, it is so difficult. But then, you know, you have to now let them be. You know? And they'll come back. You know, they will come back and they'll get it together. You know? And if they don't, they will. That's the whole thing, they will. Okay? They will. Jojo, you say, well, it's good to let them grow up to a world of independence, responsibility, and mobility. How about that? How about that? Go ahead.
1027 Garage Patrol, all is 10-4.
Copy that. Yeah, that's so true. That there is so true. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on for a second. Let me put this down here. Because my nose is trying to give me that. Y'all know I was the runny nose boy, right? Hold on. All right, I think I got him. Okay. So that's what we have here, babies. That's exactly what we have here. It's good to let them grow up to a world of independence, responsibility, and mobility. I like that mobility part too, JoJo. Because they got to be able to move. Move, because oftentimes we've been trying to protect them to where they become stagnant. And if they're not moving, honey, then you become an enabler. And then they're not getting what they need to do. You see what I'm saying? Daryl has come up in here. Hey, Daryl. So that there is that. What time is that? Because I got to get ready to finish my paperwork. We're going to get up out of here in a second. Jojo, you said so true. Preach, darling. Parents need to let them lead their own. Yes, darling. We have to. We have to. If you are a good parent and instill the values and the tools that are needed, then you got to have faith, honey, that your tools are going to reign. They know what to do. And if they don't, honey, then they're going to have to fend for themselves. Ain't that right? You had to do it. They had to learn how to do it. They got to learn how to do it, but you've given them the tools. This is how come we had to do chores. Remember that? Learn how to wash a dish. Learn how to put them up. Learn how to clean the floor. Learn how to vacuum. Learn how to iron, fold your clothes. Why? Because there's going to come a time when you got to go out here and do this shit. Or pay somebody to do it. If you got it like that. Okay? However, you still got to learn how to do it and learn how to take care of yourself. Shovel the grass. The sidewalk. Mow the lawn. Cut the grass. You know, that kind of thing. So once you learn to balance a checkbook, okay, start a savings account. You know, those kinds of things. Learn how to pay a bill. Learn how to get on a payment plan. If you ain't got enough money, learn how to manipulate that so you know how to do it so that it doesn't bite you in the ass. You know what I'm saying? So these are the kinds of things that happens. But as this goes on, this is why you see the kind of discussion that just come out of this one episode of Pose, and I've only talked about the sex scene, the love-making scene, the absolute needed scene of that. Okay, and I broke it down into detail like this because this here, it warrants this kind of discussion. So that our heteroattractional counterparts, if they come and say, okay, oh, here they go with that gay shit again, see, then we have ammunition to be like, no, see, this is what you got to understand about it. And you're going to have those that don't want to understand it because they just don't want to see two men fucking. That's fine. But we've got to learn how to have that conversation because, see, here's the thing, that the beauty of it is, it wasn't just that gratuitous shit like we see all the time in Grey's Anatomy or whatever because they hot and bothered. They go in the damn store closet and fuck because they can. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about relationships so frivolously to where it becomes, oh my God, here we go again, girl. And then you see who the hoe is, who this is. You know, it becomes that. But this here was more. In fact, it wasn't even that at all. What we had here was the essence of someone coming together in a time of need, in a time where they connected on a way that nobody else was going to connect, and they needed each other at that moment. And see, if you look at that, let's look at it from this perspective too. You know how we say shit just happened? You know how folks who get caught up in a cheating situation or something because everything just happened? Well, sometimes in these particular situations, those moments present themselves like that. And that's what we have to learn how to look at life, because if you're not strong enough to pull yourself out of it to where it doesn't go there, that's how the just happens start. Because Prater was at home. He put Ricky in the other room. Ricky got up and came to his bed. Okay? No, honey, no, darling, you're young and you're confused. Okay? And that's what this is. And Ricky was like, no, I need you. I need you because I need you to let me know I'm okay. That I'm still desirable, I'm still wanted. Okay? And I need you to want me like I want you. And Prey said, well, shit. I got this pretty fine thing seeing me as the object of his desire. And I ain't had that since, and how long? That is where it all is. Baby, I'm telling you, this episode was everything. And I'm going to come back Let me get up out of here because I could go on and on. But I just wanted to come and touch bases because we haven't talked in a while. Wait a minute. Wait. Before I go, JoJo done gave me something to think on. Wait a minute. How would you say what? Good session. You got that right. I pay somebody to do my snow and my grass. Right. I do too. JoJo says, well, some parents are so manipulative, overprotective of their kids just to block their growth of independence to smothering them, which is wrong from them. And they are so jealous of their freedom of mentality and independence. I can't fuck with that either. Because I know as a parent, as a gay parent, I'm overprotective because I really want my kids to do the right thing. But oftentimes, I'm overprotective because I know some of their decisions are just being hot in the ass decisions. And my rule of thumb is make educated decisions versus foolish choices. Okay? Educated decisions versus foolish choices. If you can sit down there and think this thing through, and you can still say, okay, yeah, I'm going to still go through, and you've thought about all the possible consequences or the obvious consequences, then yeah. And you can say, okay, I'm down, then cool. Okay, go for it. Okay? Because that means that this is not going to shock you if something comes into play or whatever the case may be. Okay? Tommy says, straights benefit from mentors. Too often, there's a great divide between young and older in gays. Ageism, like racism, cuts both ways. Yes, sex is a part of it sometimes, but if sex is to bridge the roads and the gaps and allow interaction, at least it happens. Okay, now you know what? Now here's the thing with that. Oftentimes, what ends up happening is most of those kind of relationships, the ageism is something that it's a component that is a slippery slope. Because like I said earlier, a lot of folks get caught up in the fantasy of trying to be relevant with these little young folks. They're not looking at it for love. They're looking at it for trying to feel like I call it the fountain of youth syndrome. If I get this young person, he gonna keep me young, he gonna keep me active. No, bitch, that's not what's gonna do it. You responsible for that. You're responsible for that. Now that's not to say, because see, there's the other side. Now, this is not to say for the young folks who pursue you. Because it's one thing to having a good time. It's one thing to sit down there and say, okay, I would like to spend my time with a young person or whatever. That's a whole different ball game. But if you just set your mind and say, this is my preference, I'm not dating no one but these little young kids, because you think that's going to keep you hip and relevant to the world, you got another thing coming. Okay? JoJo said, I'm so glad and proud of Pray Tell and Ricky Soulful Love change making. And it is beautiful. Great chatting with you, darling. Great chatting with you too, baby. It's 2 minutes to 3. Let me get up off of here right now. I'm going to put this up on YouTube and carry it on so we can go back and visit this. But let me finish up my paperwork because I'm about to switch up out of here in a minute. I can't talk, I can, but I'm going to have somebody coming up in here in a minute. I got to get up out of here. So this is going to be a part 2 to this coming up real soon. So keep your ears open, babies. And until the next time, my darlings, honey, this is Big Meach, honey, coming at you with another installment of the Donut Factory Chronicles and Commentaries, honey. And until we meet again, if you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do this, honey. Like, subscribe, share, all of that. And until the next time, darling, I will talk with you soon, okay? Woo-hoo!